Alright, let's let her rip. Oh. Hi, I'm Buddy. Welcome to my channel, 2 Alpha Tools. In today's video, we're going to be doing some fixing on my Dodge Ram 2500 Mega Cab with the old 6.7 Cummins. You know, the 6 in a row, ready to tow. See, the problem I have is the truck, it don't like to start. And it's a starter, it's bad. And I know that because of the way it is. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to go over how to remove and install the starter. We're going to do a step-by-step process. I'm also going to show you the tools that you'll need to do the job, and it's not a lot of tools at all. Just in case somebody else is out there and they have the same problem and they're got to do a starter, I can tell you which tools that you need and then show you how to do it. Now in the future, we're going to have another video of me taking apart the original starter and showing you how it was bad, how it failed, and how we can fix on it, and maybe get a couple more months like I did out of it. So, before we get started, let's go over the tools that we're going to use. Okay, welcome to the workbench. Now, for all you gentlemen and gentle ladies out there that wonder if you've got all the tools to replace your starter on your 6.7 Cummins, this is a small list of tools that you'll need, and we'll go over them. So, to light things up, we're going to be using the Astro light. Like I said in my previous video, I'm going to be using this Astro light for the next month or so over my Icon light. And then I'm going to see which one I do like better, because last month I only used my Icon light. And then I'll do a review over that. Now for video purposes, so we can get some lighting, you'll see the skill light that I'm going to use. Not necessary to have multiple lights, but if you need to see, you need to see. Next up, we have our 8mm that you'll need to take off the battery, your battery terminals. I'm going to be using my flex head ratchet wrench that apparently had a little too much to drink. Then we'll be using a 13mm, either a deep well or a standard, 15mm deep well or standard, and then 5/8 deep well or standard or shallow, however you want to call it. These will be for the starter bolts, these 13s, and then the 15mm will be for the bracket, and then the 5/8 will be for the power connector at the starter. If you use just the standard or the shallow size sockets, I would suggest getting an extension. And then for the top bolt, you're probably going to need a universal of some type, because that thing is back in there. For my ratchet, I'm going to be using a flex head 3/8 ratchet. You don't need to use a flex head, but that's my preference. And then if you want to, really go wild with the budget, you could use an automatical ratchet. Then this tool up here, we'll talk about it later. Not sure if I'm going to need it or not. And then, of course, we're going to be putting in our new to me CarQuest starter. Remanufactured, because I'm cheap. So that is the little list that you'll need to do this. So let's get started. Okay, as you can tell, I'm trying to light this place up like a Griswold's at Christmas because, well, can't really see. But the first step, which is the most crucial step, if there was a most crucial step in doing all this, is these mini defibrillators right here. You have to disconnect the power cables, and we're going to disconnect our happy cables, and then we're going to wrap them up and make sure that we're safe when we're doing this, because if you don't and you go ahead and do the job without disconnecting it, you're going to shock yourself, and you're going to be like, dang, I should listen to what that funny dude said on YouTube. Also, make sure when you're using one of these ratchet wrench style ratchets that you don't touch anything else with the ratchet, or you'll complete the circuit. And then you want to find the greasiest shop rag that you got laying around and wrap it so it doesn't make contact again. We'll call that part 2 of the most crucial step. Now, I'm going to need you to kind of step to the side there because I got dose batteries on this one. There you go. Now you can see. Now it's time to remove this happy cable. So that way when we do the job, we can be happy doing it. Oh, don't you do that. You see that? The wrench tried to fight back on me. No juice. God, it smells bad. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, next we can go down and take a look at the starter from the top side. Okay, I didn't cover it on the tools required because I don't feel like you really need this tool, but you might need it. Let me explain. So if you do have a connector that is being really difficult, this Lyle electrical disconnect tool can really help you out if you need it. But sometimes the connectors, they will just come right off, especially if they've got some age on them and they're broken. But the connector for the starter is right down there. That we'll need to disconnect that one next. Okay, as you can see, our connector is right there disconnected. So now, due to taping difficulties, I'm going to leave you guys topside. Now that I got you guys set up, I'm going to need to get to that top nut right there. That one right there. Don't let me get that one now. We don't need to take that one off. You'll see later. But let me know when I'm on that one. Where did that ratchet go? Ah, there it is. Yeah! Chubby guy noises. Ugh. Coming in. Let's see. Oh, Moses, that is bright. Okay. Can't really see. Let me know when I'm on it. And loosen. Yeah. There we go. Now this will be the point to where if you forgot to disconnect the batteries, you would be quickly reminded. Because this is where all the power is sent down to the starter. Jiminy Christmas. This thing is threaded. Oh, yeah. Now we gotta get this piece off and make sure you do this with your mouth open. So you can see, so you can taste all the dirt that's falling. Oh yeah. That's definitely red clay. Don't worry about how I know that. Well, she should. It would help if, you know, I wasn't trying to Helen Keller this thing. Lots of sounds. That's good. Oh. Alright. Okay, so now that we got our connector off, and then we got the power cable running down to the starter is also off. Last thing you gotta do up here on top side is remove that bolt right there. So let's take that one out. Then we go down to the bottom. Okay, so as you can see at the top, we now have electrical connector disconnected, and then the nut is off of the power. And then right there is the hole where the 13mm bolt was. Now, if you have a buddy helping you out, it's not necessary to take this 13mm bolt all the way out, but I would highly suggest it if you're doing the job yourself. And then this is the nut. This is why we needed the 5/8. Okay, let's go underneath, finish the job. Welcome to the underside. Thank you guys for your help up top. Now, down here, there's a bracing that's going to have to come off. Because if you'll see, right there, that bolt is actually covered up by this whole bracket. So these are your 15mm bolts. You got to take all these out and drop that bracket. So let's do that. Yatska. Yatska. Yeah. Oh. This one. We might run into this situation here. Nope, never mind. Yeah. About to smash the fingers for sure. Oh, yeah. Well, I used to have feeling in that finger. Yep. Yeah. This last one off here. Oh. Ah. And a moonbeam right to the temple. Does that make me brighter? No. Do you guys remember rotary phones? Better question. Does anyone still use a rotary phone? That'd be sweet. You know, you might think, boy, I got a job to do and I just don't know if I can do it. You know, maybe you might not have the right tools or not know how. I tell you, you're never gonna know till you get out there and do it. And then you might buy a tool here, tool there. Eventually, you end up with 3 toolboxes. And that's speaking from experience. Okay. So make sure to move your head if you drop this. Cataloged. Yep. All right. Now that we got the bracket removed, step 8, sure, is going to be to remove these two 13mm bolts. There's that little guy that was hiding behind that bracketry. Bing boom, bing boom. Okay, so what we're going to do is, since we took out our top bolt, we don't want to completely remove these two. So we're going to take them out, but not all the way. This is where having somebody up there to help is really crucial, because you don't want this guy falling on your dome piece. Which one's going to be easier? Probably this one, I'd say. So yeah, let's go ahead and take this one out. You can down here, you're going to want to take one completely out, but leave one threaded in enough to support the weight of the starter, because you don't want it falling on your face, you know, knock out your front tooth eye. But you want to roll it around like this and really damage that flywheel. Dagnabbit. Here we go. All right. We're going to hold the starter in there. Remove this one. All right, that one's out. Now we hold the starter in place while we take this one out. Now remember, at this point, once this bolt's out, nothing is supporting that starter. Okay, now, easy, easy, faster, easy, slower, easy, harder. Uh-oh. And now you play jigsaw puzzle until you get it out. Well, here we are back at the workbench. What would you know? Starter's out. Job's almost done. So here we got our starter. The reason why I was saying for that top 5/8 bolt or top 5/8 nut, you just got to take that one off. This one actually stays with the starter. And then of course, while you're up top, don't forget about the 13mm bolt that's going through there. Now make sure you guys subscribe, because I don't know when I'm going to put this video out, but what we're going to do is we're going to take this apart and I'm going to show you guys where this starter failed and how I was able to rebuild on it a little bit. And I got a few more months out of it, but it's to the point now that might as well go ahead and replace it with the Conquest Premium. I didn't pay for Premium. It's sure. Oh, read me first. Yeah, I'll get to you later. Sure. What is the specs? So, like I said, remanufactured in China, and they send you this nice little card. Stop. This nice little card that shows you that they guaranteed that they tested it, which is probably a reprinted out sheet, and then they got a sticker machine that just throws different numbers on there and says, yeah, guaranteed, passed, sure. Anyways, here's our new to me starter. Oh, nice. Looks like some old feller already cooked it for me. Great. Good thing the threads come pre-chewed, so that way when I chew them up, I don't have to feel so bad because, you know, somebody already started the process. Alright, now that we got our remanufactured China starter, let's go do that all over again. But this time, backwards. Okay, welcome back to the show. Here we are back under the truck. What do you say this time? Yeah. We give the old choot some pooching. Now, just like before, we get to play Operation, or don't put the triangle in the circle game, zigzag, all different, whichever way it can go on. Yuck. Like I said, don't do this with your mouth open. Then we'll put one in, something to help support the weight. Yeah. For whatever reason, you ever put sandpaper in your mouth and decide to chew on it? That's what I'm going through right now. Well, that was bad timing. The old tripod decided to check out. Okay. Now, before we tighten this one all the way, we're going to need to install the one up top. So, I'm going to head up there and do that. I'll be back. You want to make sure you got some adjustability on the top to make sure you get that top bolt in, then run it down, and then torque it, and then you come back down to the bottom side. I'll be back. Okay, now the top 13mm bolt is torqued to the good and tight. Now these Let's make sure that we half smoke them on there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that ain't going nowhere. These don't get that hot, so I don't see any point of putting anti-seize on. You know, not like if you're doing anything with brakes or stuff like that. Those highly suggested to put on some of that no seize. Alright, now we can move back to our back bracket try. If you get a starter from like a U-Pull-It or something, you know, you go the real cheap route, grab one of them, nothing wrong with it, but I would not suggest putting this back on until you try the starter. Also, make sure you got the right socket on. You don't want to be a silly goose trying to put on a 15mm with the 5/8 and think you snugged her down. Reckon I did get her on there. Yeah! Click. Yeah! Click. Probably just my elbow clicking. Anyways. Click. Alright. Well, where'd you go? There it is. Alright. Next up, get you guys in here and get a better look. You can't see from out there. You gotta scoot in. Okay. On the install, let's try something different. See if this has a better angle to it. So, next up, we got to put our power cable back on, which is right here. Gonna need to go to it. Well, what in the devil? There. Did you guys grab the hardware? Silly. Nope. Must have left it down here. if I was a betting person and wanted to lose a bet, I'd say that this standard is gonna work. Nice. So on this install, we're gonna need a D. Yep. By the way, that's the reason why I have a creeper. Try and save what little life my back has left. I don't want to use the cordless ratchet on this because I do not want to snap that stud. Not that it would, but you know, wouldn't put it past me to do it. Alright, and that's on there. You know, since we was here, let's just go ahead and poke this guy on too. Connector's clean. Click. Sure. Now, up here, we got a clampage. Perfect. That wasn't a pain at all. Okay. Now that we got all of our bolts tight and torqued, let's go back up top and hook up the Heart Starter 3000s. Okay, depending on which way you're counting, this could be step 15 or step 7.5 in reverse. Either way, final step is to hook up our little mini defibrillators here. Got some Autocraft battery terminal grease. Slip that on there. Lever up. Not a whole lot, just enough to make a mess. Smoking. Snug this guy down. Yep, that ain't going nowhere. Can't forget my rag. I can reuse that one. For sure. Perfect. Okay. Heart stopper number 2. Throw some lubage on her. Perfect. Coming in hot. Get it? yeah. Click, click. Okay. All right, now. Have you seen my keys? All right. Now you guys keep a peek on everything in here. I'm gonna go fire it up. Let's see what we did. We got battery. Gauges are moving. Power's there. Everything seems fine. All right, let's send it. Woo! Did you hear that? Before we get out of here, there's one other thing that I want to mention. There's a guy on YouTube that's telling people whenever they change their oil to go ahead and write the date and the time, the oil change time on the oil filters, which is a great idea. Honestly, it is. But for me, since I don't have that many vehicles that I have to maintain, every one of my vehicles has one of these in it, which is just a little booklet you can get from anywhere. And every time I change the oil, I write down the month and the mileage that I changed it, and whether or not change the fuel filter with the oil change. And that's very important for a diesel. Just about every other oil change, you need to be changing your fuel filter. During these times, there was probably where I had to change my fuel filter, especially post-winter time. And then, since we just did the starter, I've got my 2023 parts list right here. As you can see, I've done the passenger front ball joints and the U-joints in about January, February time frame. And then right here, we did the starter in April. So, if for whatever reason I ever wanted to sell the truck, and they say, well, hey, what all have you done to it? I can just say, check the book. Because I got the book of everything that I've done. I'll log all of it. Not a bad gig. Especially if you can't remember if you've done something or when you've done it. Or you say, dang it, I know I changed this not too long ago. When did I change that belt? I can't remember. Write it down. And keep it in the vehicle. Alright, let's do this outro. Well, that's it for this video. I got a mess to clean up and some cold ones to drink. Now, I know we didn't use it in this video, but I'm going to put this in the zip ties and duct tape playlist because I'm trying to fill that thing up with all the DIY projects. And if you like this stuff or you want to see more DIY stuff, make sure that you hang around this channel. Now, one other thing I do want to mention is if you got a project and you don't know where to start or you're kind of nervous about doing it because you've never done it before, make sure you get yourself one of these Haynes maintenance manuals. Because if we can't fix you up on YouTube, then this manual can get you started. It's not going to have everything for your vehicle, but it is going to give you a step-by-step process of most things you'll need to do for your vehicle, especially routine maintenance. I've had one of these for every vehicle I've ever owned. They're not that expensive at all. But seriously, I hope everyone has a good day. Thank you for checking out this channel. As always, I'm Buddy. This is 2 Alpha Tools. Bye for now.